Come with me to get ready to leave the house to go to work thanks to Dominion Energy. Let me show you what I do every single day I leave the home for the last month. Welcome to my meter box. We're going to switch off the bedroom, the washer, the kitchen counter, the dryer. We leave the outside unit on. We're going to even turn off the water heater. We're going to turn off the middle bedroom, the bathroom, the living room. Refrigerator stays on, the range stays on, the heat stays on. Everything else is off. But wait, there's more. We're going to come over here to this beautiful little electric panel. All right, as you can see, set to 68. We're going to move this all the way down to 60.
Utility bills exceeding mortgages. That's not an exaggeration. That's West Virginia right now, and it's spreading. Families rationing heat, turning off every breaker before work, choosing between food and electricity, while utility CEOs pocket $14 million a year. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Let's get into it.
I think that we all collectively should just stop paying our electric bill. I don't even have time to get cute to talk about this video because this is getting out of hand. There has to be something that we collectively can do because this is ridiculous. $814 for 1 month of electric? Mind you, previous $933, balance was $0. This is a full month bill. I didn't carry a balance. Kept my thermostat down to like 68, 69. And let's go over the charges. Energy costs $519. Distribution charge $264.63. Bill stabilization adjustment $28.65. Empower Maryland charge $68.46. Facilities charge $975. $814.18. This is ridiculous. How do they expect people to be able to keep their lights on when the bill is half of my mortgage? So last year I used 4,897 kilowatts. This year I used 3,761. So please tell me why my bill is twice as much than it was last year when I've used less.
She used less electricity and paid more money. That's not a coincidence. That's not a glitch. These utility companies aren't confused. They're calculating. And the people getting squeezed hardest are the ones with zero options to switch providers or move. She kept her thermostat at 68 degrees, already sacrificing comfort, and still got hit with a bill that's half her mortgage. This isn't about personal responsibility or being smarter with energy use. This is a monopoly operating with full government protection and zero accountability.
For your payment, we received $400 on February 5th and $533.05 on February 20th for a total of $933.05. I'm just going to have to start selling some.
There was a study that came out about these data centers that have been popping up everywhere, and they usually target these lower income rural areas. Better energy costs for them, but it literally screws all the people living there. And electricity bills apparently are through the roof around the nation because of these data centers. And then guess what's and here's the crazy part. The county commissioners can also serve legally as lobbyists to get these data centers in and then take a commission or take a paycheck from these companies.
I gotta think of a way to get this money by tomorrow. I gotta think of a way to get
Let that land for a second. The officials supposed to protect residents can legally take a paycheck from the exact companies driving up everyone's bills. That's not a conflict of interest. That's corruption dressed in a suit and called legal. Data centers move into low-income rural areas because energy is cheap. For them, their massive power demand then drives up costs for everyone already living there. Locals get none of the benefit and all of the burden. And the guy who approved the deal is on the company's payroll. This should be front-page news every single day. But it stays quiet because the people being hurt don't have lobbyists of their own.
a way to get this money by tomorrow.
You can sell your Beamer.
I can do what?
Sell your car.
Sell your mama's car. I'm not selling my car for that. Man.
Not bad.
Yeah, don't say nothing like that.
I know you love that car.
New figures show the cost of living crisis is far from over. Research from the charity Step Change, given exclusively to STV News, shows that the average energy debt for households has now reached almost £3,500, more than 40% higher than this time last year.
Although inflationary pressure has reduced over the last couple of years, we're still seeing a huge increase in energy arrears. And then what they do is they borrow from credit cards, and we're seeing a 65% increase in credit card debt to just make ends meet.
I cannot afford to put my heating on. I just cannot. The only time I'll ever put heating on is when one of my kids will say, "It's absolutely freezing, Mum." Then I look at the time.
A mother rationing warmth like it's a luxury item, sitting in a cold house until her kids can't take it anymore. This isn't a third world country. This isn't a history book. This is right now, and it's everywhere. Energy debt up 40% in a single year. People borrowing on credit cards just to keep the lights on. That 65% spike in credit card debt isn't recklessness. That's survival. You cannot lecture anyone about financial responsibility when the system itself is designed to drain them dry.
This is when I turned it on. 20 minutes later, it's off.
The West Virginia Senate passed Senate Bill 505 Thursday. It's titled the Ensuring Reliable and Affordable Electricity Act, which aims to ensure power system reliability is a key factor in determining utility costs for ratepayers. Debate on the Senate floor today with the explanation of this bill was Senate Energy Chairman Chris Rose. He faced questions from Senate Minority Leader Mike Woelfel. Let's start with that first question.
Exactly what are we doing here? I'm not trying to be condescending or argumentative. I mean, what is the goal of to keep the power plants going all the time, or you've got to help me out, please.
So the goal and intent of the bill is to modify the rate of return to a pay for what you get type model. So currently, the way we operate here in West Virginia, our power plants are getting paid all their expenses and rate of return, even when they don't run their plants all the time. We still guarantee them that rate of return while they buy power off the grid. This by no means stops them from buying power off the grid, but what it does is, you hear the term a lot this session about MAMAL. This prevents MAMAL from paying for the cost of that plant sitting there idle, or even only running at 30% due to the wear and tear and maintenance that occurs at only running them at 30%. This prohibits the ratepayer from eating the cost of them choosing to buy off the grid, but also try to piggyback and make them pay for the plant as well.
Come with me to get ready.
Plain English translation of what this senator just said. Power companies were getting guaranteed profit even when their plants sat completely idle. Imagine your employer paid you full salary to do nothing, and then billed your customers for the chair you were sitting in. That's what was happening to ratepayers in West Virginia, subsidizing plant maintenance and buying power off the grid at the same time. This bill is supposed to stop that double dipping. And honestly, that sounds like progress, but here's the question nobody's answering. Why was this ever allowed in the first place? Because somewhere a lobbyist sat down with a lawmaker and made sure the utility always got paid, regardless of what they actually delivered. And regular people footed that bill without even knowing it existed.
To leave the house to go to work thanks to Dominion Energy. Let me show you what I do every single day I leave the home for the last month. Welcome to my meter box. We're going to switch off the bedroom, the washer, the kitchen counter, the dryer. We leave the outside unit on. We're going to even turn off the water heater. We're going to turn off the middle bedroom, the bathroom, the living room. Refrigerator stays on, the range stays on, the heat stays on. Everything else is off. But wait, there's more. We're going to come over here to this beautiful little electric panel. All right, as you can see, set to 68. We're going to move this all the way down to 60. It's down to 60. And now I'm going to go ahead and put on my coat and go to work.
Arkansas farmers.
Every circuit breaker, off. Water heater, off. Every bedroom, off. Thermostat dropped to 60. Then she puts on a coat to walk out the door. This is what life looks like when the utility bill becomes the single biggest threat to her household. And the brutal part, this level of effort probably saves her $20 a month. Because the bulk of these bills aren't from leaving a light on. They're from distribution charges, facilities fees, stabilization adjustments, all that fine print. Nobody explained to her when she signed up, you can kill every breaker in the house, and those fixed charges hit you exactly the same. That is the trap, and these companies know it perfectly well.
Many of them loyal Trump voters are now begging Washington for an emergency bailout. According to Reuters and Bloomberg, the farm economy has collapsed so badly that growers are literally pleading for federal relief. And here's the kicker. These are the same folks who cheered when Trump promised to fix everything with tariffs and tough love. Well, that love has now turned into foreclosure notices and auction signs. It's like inviting a bull into your barn and then acting shocked when the haystack catches fire. They voted against their own interest, backed a man whose loyalty only stretches as far as his own pocket. And now the bills have come due, big time. From MAGA to May Day, Arkansas is learning the hard way that slogans don't pay the bank, and America First doesn't cover crop insurance. And that's the coal.
Foreclosure notices, auction signs, farmers begging Washington for emergency bailouts. These are people who believe the slogan's hard, and now the bills came due in the worst possible way. Loyalty to any politician that only stretches as far as his own pocket is a losing bet every single time. The painful lesson here isn't political. It's personal. When someone's promises cost you nothing to make and everything for you to absorb, that's not a deal. That's a trap with good branding.
Truth on Code Blue in America. Only on OGM News.
This is how we're going to cut the extra revenues of fossil fuel industries. They're having scandalous income based on the fuel crisis in the moment, while households don't know how to pay their bills anymore.
Loads of rural communities are having to use kerosene and other forms of heating oil, and that's really putting a premium on their cost of energy. I think on average they pay an extra 10 to 20% on their homes in comparison to the normal urban homes.
If you guys want to actually cancel something that's harmful and toxic to Appalachia, okay, it's time to cancel AEP. Let's cancel the complete abuse of power that they have displayed. Let's cancel their fraudulent billing practices. Let's cancel their abusive overcharging of their customers. Let's cancel their charging us for megawatts used on days when we didn't have power. Let's cancel them for bankrupting those who are already struggling paycheck to paycheck while their CEO brings in $1.5 million a year base salary. His total compensation package is like over $14 million a year. Let's cancel them charging you $1,200 when it should have been $300 so they can make up lost profit. Let's cancel them for making people decide between having lights and food. Let's cancel the monopoly that is American electric power.
Trump's big, beautiful bill is going to have a huge impact on West Virginia across many years. The upfront benefit that you are being sold is going to benefit the wealthy. Families are going to find cuts from Medicaid, SNAP, loss of benefits from reduction in force for agencies that they rely on in the government. Our electric costs are about to skyrocket on top of the skyrocketing cost of electricity. We have opened the door for AI companies to take over our land with no county or local pushback.
No county pushback, no local resistance. AI companies walking straight onto the land while electric costs are already skyrocketing. And that big, beautiful bill being sold to West Virginians. Benefits going to the wealthy, Medicaid cuts, SNAP cuts, agencies. People actually depend on gutted. Here's what makes this so dangerous. It's layered. The utility monopoly, the data centers, the political deals, the federal cuts, each one alone is painful. All of them together hitting simultaneously is devastating, and the people absorbing every single hit are the ones who can least afford it. So here's what actually matters right now. Show up to Public Utility Commission hearings. They're open and on the record. Ask your state rep on the record how much money he's taken from these utility companies, because that information is public. The system is counting on your silence. Don't give it to them.
A vote for this is a vote for a disaster in West Virginia.
A mother turning off her breakers before work. A senator explaining why utility companies got paid to do nothing. Farmers losing everything they built. And one man calling out a monopoly clearer than any politician ever has. The through line in all of it is simple. The people paying the most have the least power to change anything. And the people with the power are getting paid to keep it exactly this way. So tell me in the comments, have your utility bills gone up this year, and do you actually believe your local officials are fighting for you? Drop it below, and if this hit different for you, like it, share it, subscribe to Mind Mirror, because we're just getting started.